Lisa, the Swifts are back in Sydney this weekend. Are you happy to be home?
Oh, always glad to get back in and have a routine where it means that we're in our own beds and just can sort of relax a bit more around the game and come into that. But obviously more happy to be back home because we have our crowd behind us and yelling out for us and saying all those good things and just the cheers and support the girls get.
You came agonisingly close to a win against the Thunderbirds last weekend. Can we expect the same sort of hit out this week against the Mystics?
Well, different style of game. Obviously last weekend was an intense one-on-one game from both teams. There's some quite physical aspects to it in the contesting of the ball. I don't think there was anything in there that you look at and go, wow, what was that? I think everybody got out in the game and really contested everything. And it was a hard-fought game, and I think the skills were really well on display there. This week will be a bit different because obviously we'll still be working hard on our one-on-one, but expect the Kiwis to be a bit more offline in their defence. So you should be able to see, looking at the game, there should be a real contrast in what you can see defensively.
The Thunderbirds did employ a one-on-one defence, but at times put a zone sort of defence into their attacking third. Does that help you for this weekend?
Yeah, it does, and I think there's a few teams that are trying to do a little bit of that. We play with it in a different way to what they do, and it's just you need to break it up every now and then. You can't keep going with the same thing because it becomes easy for the opposition. So changing that up and throwing in a zone or just throwing in a split or one of those other defensive styles just means the attackers have to suddenly stop and think about what's going on. So good for us in that they've thrown that on, and we've got the Kiwi style coming up this week. But at the same time, we'll expect that at some stage, especially with Coletto in the back end somewhere, that there will be some one-on-one from them.
We spoke to Susan Prattley earlier this week, and she touched upon some of the internationals in the Mystics lineup. What are the key matchups that you can see for this week?
Interesting for us. Usually we sit down and pretty much can predict what the opposition's starting line will be. The Mystics are a little bit tricky in that regard this year, in that Latu didn't start last game. Where will they start Cullen? Where will they start Coletto? I think the only one we're pretty short of is that Maria will be at goal attack. So our matchups, I'm not 100% who will have on who, but at some stage I expect Coletto and Prats to be on each other in the circle, whether it's shooter and goal D or goal attack and goal D. Cullen will, could be at centre. She could be at goal D. It's very interesting for us from that point of view. I do expect Latu to start, especially. I think the Mystics will come out with a bit of fire this week in the sense that they've just re-signed Deb Fuller. So I think that'll probably, give them some. They know where they're going next year, and that'll probably I reckon they'll have a little bit of extra fire in that one, with knowing that news and having to get out there and perform in front of it with the new coach, or the returning coach, I should say, being there and starting to look to make decisions for the 2014 roster.
So fans will be wondering how Monia Gerard's going after she was taken off last weekend. How is she this week?
It's a progress thing, and like all injuries, we just work with our medical staff and are guided by what they say. At this stage, we're expecting Mon to be part of our 12 on the weekend, and until we know otherwise, then that's the plan.